Good morning, I'm Gary DeWaal, and this is Bridging the Week for November 18th to 22nd, and today is November 25th, 2019. The chairman of the Commodity Futures Trading Commission said it's important for the United States to lead in blockchain technology and heralded the agency's own principles-based approach to regulation as a model that could be followed to achieve leadership. Separately, a Futures Commission merchant operating as a voice broker was sanctioned by the CFTC for numerous purported regulatory lapses in connection with its execution of block trades and audit trails prepared and maintained regarding such transactions. This is the week we give pause to reflect on the early European settlers of the United States and the plight of Native Americans they often displaced, so we can gather with our families and begin the holiday tradition of eating too much. Let's get started. In an appearance on CNBC last week, Heath Tarbert, chairman of the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, indicated that he wanted the United States to lead in the blockchain technology underlying crypto assets. Currently, said Dr. Tarbert, quote, "I don't think we're at the top of the list, but we may not be at the bottom," end of quote. He noted that when the Libra Association chose a location to set up, they, quote, "could have chosen anywhere in the world," end of quote. They picked Switzerland, with Singapore being their second choice. Quote, "I don't know where the United States was," end of quote, said Dr. Tarbert, quote, "but it clearly wasn't first on the list," end of quote. According to Dr. Tarbert, whoever leads in blockchain technology will get to establish, quote, "the rules of the road for the rest of the world," end of quote, and he is committed to seeing the U.S. as a leader. Separately, in an opinion article in Fortune magazine, Dr. Tarbert indicated that a quote-unquote principles-based approach is the best way to regulate crypto assets and other fintech products. He noted that such an approach has been applied by the CFTC in evaluating clearinghouses that settle transactions that might result in the delivery of Bitcoin. Dr. Tarbert argued that principles-based regulation, quote, "can provide a more effective regulatory approach for overseeing financial services in this global technological age than highly prescriptive, rules-based approach can," end of quote. For the United States to be a leader in blockchain technology, as Dr. Tarbert advocates, it should start by more rationally regulating virtual currency exchanges. Along these lines, as I have written previously, the case for a single federal regulator of cryptocurrency exchanges is overwhelming. For more detailed thoughts on this, check out the article version of Bridging the Week at www.bridgingtheweek.com. BGC Financial LP, a Futures Commission merchant that acts as a voice brokerage entity, agreed to pay a fine of $3 million to resolve charges by the CFTC that from at least March 2014 through March 2019, the firm had multiple regulatory breakdowns related to the handling of certain ordinary futures and block trades that entailed verbal communications. During this time, claimed the CFTC, BGC failed to record or retain voice recordings for periods of up to 4 months. On 4 occasions, said the CFTC, this failure involved multiple broker lines simultaneously, and on 1 occasion, February 5th through the end of May 2016, the firm lost all voice recordings for quote-unquote thousands of trades by traders on its Sugar Land, Texas block trading desks. As a consequence, in late 2016, when the CFTC's Division of Enforcement requested the audit trail for 100 random block trades during the prior 12 months, BGC produced complete records for less than half of the relevant trades. Additionally, claimed the CFTC, BGC failed to notify it, as required, of multiple formal investigations by other regulatory bodies and 1 change in senior management. The firm was also charged with failure to comply with a requirement that, in its 2015 and 2016 Chief Compliance Officer annual reports, it identify certain material non-compliance issues related to record retention and disclose its plan to remediate such issues, as well as failure to supervise. The CFTC appears to be cracking down on delayed and/or incomplete productions in response to its request for records. I have my thoughts on this on the article version of Bridging the Week on the website. Check it out. And finally, Viatotis Parfenovas was criminally charged in a federal court in Brooklyn, New York for stealing funds from and engaging in unauthorized trading of securities in accounts of U.S. customers at various unnamed financial institutions from 2011 through 2018. According to an affidavit by a special agent of the Federal Bureau of Investigation included with the complaint, the defendant obtained access to the accounts through usernames and passwords he obtained through phishing and other computer intrusions. Mr. Parfenovas purportedly used email and social media accounts on Google, Yahoo, Facebook, and Apple that he registered under false names to orchestrate his purported criminal scheme. The criminal complaint claims that the defendant's action resulted in over $5.5 million in losses in victims' accounts. This complaint gave me an opportunity to think about cybersecurity and how financial firms must institute and follow robust policies to mitigate the risk of cyber breaches and respond promptly when they occur. They will, unfortunately. Check out my musings at www.bridgingtheweek.com. Well, that's it for this week's edition of Bridging the Week. As always, there's more information in each article and many more articles on the article version of Bridging the Week on the website. Check it out. You know where. I'm Gary DeWaal. Have a nice week. Have a great Thanksgiving. And until the next edition of Bridging the Week in 2 weeks, ciao.